Hey there traders, David here of TradingFibs and MarketFi.com to bring you a current inside in-depth look at the trading the trend strategy for the Dow 30 stocks, top Forex markets, and future indices for November 24th, 2014. My trading mantra of know one thing, know well rings true for all markets, whether you trade the futures, Forex, ETFs, or any other market. My plan will keep you disciplined. Let's jump right into the four major ETFs here, the Triple Q Diamonds, SPY, and IWM. As we can see, trends in play to the upside on a 100-tick range chart here. Very smooth Heikin Ashi bars, very easy to manage on the way up on a daily swing. So the question is on the futures, how do we get in? We get in by looking for on a smaller tick range chart. Now you don't have to trade the ticks, you could trade on a minute as well, or a 4-hour. It depends on your style of trading. But again, the trend in play is looking for, that's right, if you're looking at the daily charts, you want to look for the intraday setting of a small time frame. We use the range charts to look for the 3-chart confirmation. If you're looking for the swing size, what a wonderful opportunity is. We'll run through the Dow 30 stocks on the diamonds here as we continue to get in play. The question is the fear, I'm up so high, how do I get into this and still continue to ride it higher? Because the entry being back here, at least on a 100-tick range chart, we'll take a look at the daily charts, but a 100-tick range chart would have been at least, that's right, at least 2 weeks ago, if not 2.5 weeks ago. How would I have, if I missed that, how do I get in on it? Well, if you're trading the ETF or futures intraday, if you're trading the stocks or equities, the options on them, again, it's looking for the pullback on an intraday session. Let's go ahead and start taking a look at the Dow 30 stocks as we take a look at American Express here on a Fibonacci extension after a retrace about approximately 23% retracement. Didn't exactly hit that. Would not look for the entry until we broke above the high here of at least 92.59. Again, the diamonds are the Dow Jones Index is in an uptrend. The futures are in an uptrend. We draw our lines from point A to point B, retrace to point C. We look for the entry as the 5 will continue upside. The 5 with a Heikin Ashi bar, solid body tail up. Wait to break above that and head towards target 96.74. So American Express got a couple more bars before I put any confidence in the uptrend. Here we see on the BA, on the Boeing, that's not for British Airways, Boeing, that's right, point A down here. No great fib retracement here. All I can tell is we got a 5 above 34. Above the 80 exponential moving average. You already have solid Heikin Ashi bars. If you missed that entry back about a week ago, how do you get in on that? That's the good question. Well, what we do is we go down to a range chart. This is a daily chart. We go to a range chart on a 10-tick range chart or a 50-tick range chart. That's right, it gives you a better opportunity. You can go to a 100-tick range chart. You can go to a 10-tick range chart. That's settings that we talk about in the live trading room every day. What is the comfort level for you to get in on a trade? But the strategy is the same. It's moving average combined with 3-chart confirmation. And there you go. For the swing traders or intraday traders, what a wonderful way to get in on a trend that's already in play. You got an index that's in play to the upside. You don't want to be chasing it. So how do I get in on an intraday basis and then ride it for a swing? That's exactly what you do. Here is 3.5 days of trading. You could have gotten in last Tuesday. That's right, you had the 5 above the 34, above the 80, solid body, Heikin Ashi bar to the upside. You actually have a fib retracement here. That's right. You go ahead and pull the fib extension after the fib retracement. You go from point A, pull it over the line to point B before you had the retrace, and boom, what'd you hit? You hit fib target number 1 right there at 133. So on an intraday basis, not a bad entry. The entry would have been right here in the morning session as you rode it up. But again, if you're looking for the swing trade, this is how you get in on a longer trend trade. So Boeing, very nice entry. Want to look for the entry this week? Same picture, same scenario. Go to a tick range chart and ride that trend as the futures and the major index remains in play. Let's take a look at Caterpillar. Caterpillar, same story. 5 now above 34, 34 above 80. Nice jump right here. Solid body tail up. You missed that. Go to the intraday chart. Find an entry after a nice long run downside. As you can see, very nice trend. After a couple bars, you could have remained in the trade from September 24th all the way down, simply managing it by 1 tick above the former recent high of each Heikin Ashi bar all the way downside. Trend bars. That's it. Heikin Ashi keeps you in the trade. Like taking a look at a Cisco. Again, Cisco, same picture as the overall market index. Market index is upside. Cisco, you want to go to an intraday chart. This is a daily 5 above 34 above 80. Very nice trend in play. Not as pretty picture on Chevron. Chevron had that nice run down, easy to stay in. Looking for the upside as Chevron catches up here, solid body tail up. You want to make sure that 5 gets above that 34, and then even the stronger play will be above that 80. You'll have a Fibonacci retracement, will be a nice entry. So I wouldn't touch that Chevron until you got a stronger play. We'll capture that next week. Take a look here at the DuPont. DuPont having a nice fib retracement here. Stop at 66.24. You hit your fib target 1, resistance for 3 days. Continued upside to fib target 2. That's right. Your 5 is above 34. 34 is above 80. Daily swings here, guys. This is not intraday. The intraday entry, you would look for the 3-chart confirmation and then just ride it up. So nice trade here on the DuPont if you were able to manage to stay in that one, not get out of that trade. Here we see Disney. Again, Disney having a nice 23% fib retracement. Will not enter Disney here. We do have a 5 above 34, 34 above 80. Would not enter until at least a break upside of 92.07. Again, here we have GE. GE doing really nice. 5 above 34, 34 above 80. Look for the intraday entry on a 3-chart confirmation as we do in the live trading room to mask and follow the major index. Here we have Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, 23% retracement. Will not enter until we get above 192.68. Would draw my fib extension. Once I have my fib extension in play, I know where fib target number 1, 85. I did not say 100%. I said 85% probability. That's right, of hitting 198.14. We will follow that in the weeks to come. Here we have the Home Depot. That's right, the Home Depot, not Home Depot. Check your signs in your local stores, you'll see what I'm talking about. Here we have a lot of chop action as price action popped up here. A lot of chop action sideways. Earnings dropped. I don't pay much attention to this major significant drop, but I do not have a fib extension on here. But looking at 2 former highs, we're coming up upon that 99.25. Would not enter until, again, we do have 5 above 34, 34 above 80. That is a trend still in play and following suit with the index. So not a bad stock to remain with, but would want a stronger indicator that it broke upside of that 99.29. Not pretty picture. IBM coming in the opposite direction of the Dow. That's right, IBM coming downside. Boy, I love that IBM supercomputers that they're working on, especially, can't remember the name now, but we'll get back to that later. Anyway, what we had here was a significant earnings day drop, and again, we have chop action. The trend here to the downside, that's it, Watson, came back to me, the IBM Watson computer. Anyway, so what we have here is we had a 5 below 34, 34 above below 80, solid bodies, tails down. Very easy to ride it to the downside for the short. Looking for the high entry, you're going to want to wait till you get above that 34, at least a minimum. Solid bodies, tails up for IBM. Looking for the entry to the downside, well, you want the intraday entry for the 3-chart confirmation downside. Here we have our Intel. Intel, same pretty picture on the way to the upside. You had a retracement here, 23%. Breakout to the upside at 34.79. You'd be riding this with a solid body tail up. Want to continue to ride Intel? Look for the intraday entry on a 3-chart confirmation. Same picture here on the Johnson & Johnson. We're not taking entry unless they got above that 109.44. Would want a more of a pullback to the 34 period moving average, but the trend is in play there, Jedi traders. 5 is above 34, 34 is above 80. You had this significant downtrend, but again, solid bodies, tails up, moving this trend to the up play. Your earliest entry would have been around here on October 28th, and simply moving it up, following your stop at the most recent swing size low there, and remaining in the trend on the swing size as the index continues to move upside. Taking a look here at the JP Morgan, again, same picture. We have a nice fib retracement, about 23% right here. I would not take the entry until I got above 61.94, solid body tail up, 5 above 34. Look for the entry if you want in an intraday, but again, I would wait on a Fibonacci. I would wait until you got above that 61.90 for the stronger trend to the upside, at least fib target 1. Looking at Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola been doing really nicely. Solid body tails up. Again, you want to catch that trend, right? I would take the safer entry on a 3 chart confirmation following the suit of the index. Again, intraday, and there we go. Solid bodies tails up, 5 above 34, above 80, so following suit. Same picture here on the Mickey D's. Mickey D's after that drop down, solid bodies tails up in trend. You had your 534 crossover here on October 31st, and then finally 5 above 1321.80 here on November 6th, which would have put you in the trade to the upside and continuing the trend and holding on. No reason to come out of that trade. Voila! Triple M, there she goes. 5 above 1321. Look at that proximity of those 3 moving averages moving together. That's right after earnings, sending that up, skyrocket, fire rockets at a slight pullback. My stop would be right here, right below that tick, Heiken Ashi bar, the low 157.84, 1 tick below, or a trailing stop here at the 34 period moving average. Want to look for the entry to ride that up? Look for the intraday entry on a 3 chart confirmation. Taking a look at the Merck again chopping up sideways. Not much of a clean entry here, but again the trend is still an upside. Would at least wait until I got above 60.20 to enter into Merck. Not as beautiful a setup as some of our other. Microsoft setting up for a nice Fibonacci. If this is the low, we would get a Fibonacci retracement. Let's go ahead. Lowest low to the highest high here. That's right. That's about a 23 fib retracement. I would not enter it until I got above 50.05. I would throw a Fibonacci extension up there to see where are we going on this. Let's take a look. 1, point B right there, and drop it down to point C. If that's the low, I got a 5 above 13, above 21, above, getting ahead of myself, 5 above 34, 34 above 80, very strong in play. Fib target number 1 would be 51.53, but if I'm looking for the swing trade here, hey, as long as the index is in trend, I'm going to keep my trade on for longer. Taking a look at Nike. Nike on a daily has just been riding upside. Looks familiar like some of our other charts. Again, I mean, the best entry all the way back here, back in August, riding it up. 5 has been above the 34, and 34 has been above the 80. No reason to ever come out of the trade. This is what you want to do once you get in a trade to make sure you're in trend. Again, the question is, where do I get in trend up here? Is watching for the intraday entry and continue to ride that. As we can see here, the Pfizer again, slight pullback, 23% fib retracement. You got our most recent high up here. Want to make sure we break above that, 30.84. Your trend is in play. 5 above 34, above 80. Look to break above that most recent high on Pfizer, 30.84. And look for the 3 chart confirmation on the intraday. Again, we've got to watch that index. As long as that index is riding up, that shows where these stocks are headed. Index is an indicator where the stocks are headed in the first place based on performance. There we go. What do we have here? A nice Fibonacci retracement. There's your point A all the way down here. Draw the line up here. What do we have? We have a 23% fib retracement. As we said before, wait for the fib to break above 89.87. Then you got yourself a fib target 1 as long as we stay in play. There's your Procter & Gamble. AT&T again on a daily basis. A lot of chop action on the AT&T. You got a Fibonacci pullback forming here. I want to see solid body tail up, and I want to break above these 2 most recent highs. Most notably, depends on what Fibonacci retracement on here. Let's go ahead and pull that fib retracement. We go from the lowest low to the highest high, and we are at a 38% fib retracement. So as long as they get a solid body tail up on an intraday basis, I would look for the entry on a 3 chart confirmation. There's my point A, there's my point B. Point C right at 34.99. Fib target number 1 would be right here at 36.52. But if I'm looking for the swing size trend, why not stay in the trend as long as the index is to the upside? The Travelers, wow, what a beautiful entry right there. That is a sweet scent entry. 5 above 34, crossing right above the 80 solid body Heiken Ashi bar, and you're wishing you had gotten in all the way down here. Well, go to a 3-chart confirmation, an intraday chart on a tick range chart. Get your entry and ride this up with the other major indices. Jumping over here to United Healthcare, same picture as we just had. What can I say? You got to jump in on the intraday to get the entry. You get a nice pullback here, only about 23%. Break above right there. You tested it a couple times, 96.59, and finally broke through, finding support there. Now, watch for the trend to remain in play. Look for the 3-chart confirmation to the upside. Keep that swing size trend on. Again, the goal is to, as we saw market action come back upside, wanted to watch this on a daily basis. Here's our United Tech, again, breaking down. That's about a 23%. Let's see. Might be just slightly under, or not even hitting that. 23%. We didn't get there. But the trend's in play. So we look back and we see, where's our former most recent high? There we go. Former most recent high right there. At 110.34, whether you're trading the options or the equities on there, would want to get a solid body tail up Heikin Ashi bar on that. Make sure that my stop, most notably, would probably be at the most recent swing size low down here, minus a couple ticks, or follow the moving average and remain in the trend play to the upside. Visa, again, nice picture on the crossover down here. Again, we have not had a pullback yet. Pullbacks I prefer. As we see, solid Heikin Ashi bars, tails up 5 above the 34, 34 above the 80. So market action continuing upside. As we see here, we had a lot of chop action here in about September, but here we see the solid bars, Heikin Ashi bars, continue upside. A lot of chop sideways action. But as we continue to push up here, look for the intraday entry on the 3-chart confirmation. And wrapping up here, has Verizon. Verizon forming a nice pullback. As we look at our Fibonacci retracements, we go ahead and pull from point A to point B. There we go. We got a 38% retracement. We'll pull fib extension on that. As long as the 5 is above the 34 and the 34 above the 80, and on my trends in play to the upside, I could turn this around with a solid body Heikin Ashi bar to the upside. Entry looks clean. Look for fib target number 1 to remove contracts for a swing trade, or to remain in the trade as long as, that's right, as long as what we've been talking about all day, the index is in, oh, you forgot? There you go. As long as the index is in play, 5 above 13, 13 above 21, 21 above 80, that would keep me in the trade. Here we go, Walmart, same picture, 5 above 13. Look at the proximity of those 3 together. What a wonderful entry. That's what you want. 5 above 13, 5 above the 34, above the 80, keeps you in the trend to the upside. Look for the intraday entry on a 3-chart confirmation. Looking at ExxonMobil, again, similar to that Chevron picture. Looks a lot better than the Chevron picture. We got a fib retracement here, about 23%. Let's go ahead and draw that from the low. And to the high here, as we see, price action did hold up at 23% for retracement. I would not enter until above 97.1. I got a 5 above 34. The better entry here would be if the 5 and the 34 got above the 80 to keep you in the trend stronger. But again, at least you got a 5 above 34. You break above that 97.1. Not a bad entry. And that wraps up. There are Dow 30 stocks, a lot of them again in majority with trend here with the diamonds, whether you're following the triple Q stocks, SPY, or the Russell stocks. Watch the trend in play, the big picture, the index, and look for the individual entries. For all those who are our Apple traders, before we get to the Forex here, let's jump over to our Apple. Hang on. That's our... Hang on, give me a second here. Here's our Apple again. Same picture. Those Apple traders. Very nice entry is what we have here. A 5 above 13, 21 above 80. How do we get in the trade? This is a daily chart here. This is back in October 21st as price action had come downside in the first couple weeks of October. Here we see on a daily chart and then started to bounce back upside. The question is, how do I get in on a trend play like this? Well, you got to go down to something smaller. 100-tick range chart works well on a daily basis. Here we go. We got the 5, the crossover right here. So this back here, that's right. What day is this? This is October 28th. Well, you had 1020, you had the crossover right here about a couple days earlier. But here we go. We got the 5 above the 13, above the 2180. Early entry there. As long as you continue to be in play, And the trends in play on Heikin Ashi bars keeps you in the trend for the long term. As I mentioned before, this strategy works well. And let's get to our charts here, if I can find them. Here on the charts, not just the Apple, but works on the Forex exchange. There we go. 4 major Forex exchange players. Again, on a daily. Here we go, the European USD. All in trend. 5 below 34, 34 below the 80. Drop down to a 100-tick range chart. Let's go ahead and show you that. There's a 100-tick range chart. Gives you the early entry. That's right. Drop down to the early entry on a 100-tick range chart, which you see very similar setup. There we go. We got the entry there on 11/21. That's right, last Friday. But if you go down to the daily, again, the daily chart has been even longer. That's right. We're talking months here. Months that you could have remained in this trend with Heikin Ashi bar, solid body for the swing size to the downside. Same picture here on the USD yen. On a daily basis, you want to get in on an intraday basis. You look for the 100-tick range chart. Again, a little bit harder on the intraday because you ends up getting a lot of chop action. So if 100-tick doesn't work for you, then you look for the 200-tick or something higher. So again, on a daily basis, most definitely, the picture has been very nice for the yen as it continues to move upside. I actually have a nice Fibonacci retracement here as we continue to move to the upside. Same picture here on the pound and US dollar. The trend for some time now on a daily basis is you had a 534 crossover, and the USD, Canadian, Swiss franc as well. We follow other ETFs as well, but here's a nice entry right back here in July for the long-term trend trader. 5 above the 34, remaining above the 80 this entire time. Yes, you have a pullback, opportunity to maybe take contracts off as you move up, but no questions here. The trends in play, we identify by what we use a 3-chart confirmation to put you in, whether it's a day trade or a long-term swing size trade. That concludes the current inside in-depth look at the trading trend strategy for the Dow 30 stocks, top Forex markets, and future indices for the week of November.